Are folks already giving up on Sam Howell? I mean, really? Welcome back to another video here on the Washington Football Maniacs channel. My name is Greg, and if you're new here, this channel is dedicated to the Washington Commanders. So if you're down with that, please consider subscribing. When you do, make sure you hit that notification bell so you will not miss another video release. And with that said, let's get into this video. So, now since we're starting to pile up some losses, and now since Sam Howell had kind of a rough day against the Giants, a team that we all thought that the Commanders should have beaten last week, suddenly the Boo Birds are starting to chirp, and they're turning sour on Sam Howell. And people are starting to feel like Sam Howell's not the guy. Now, we've got to pump our brakes on this because, just like that people are saying you have to pump your brakes on Sam Howell being a franchise quarterback, you also have to pump your brakes on giving up on Sam Howell as well. But, as I normally do, I try to read Twitter X and just get fan impressions about how they feel like things are going on. And a lot of talk about Sam Howell, and people have given up on Sam Howell already. And it's just amazing. As fans, we've gotten into this mentality that the next new shiny object is what we want. We want the Caleb Williams. That's who we want. We don't want Sam Howell. We want Caleb Williams. We want another quarterback because we feel like the quarterback is going to fix the offensive line issues. We feel like the quarterback is going to fix the defense. And we feel like the quarterback's going to fix the coaching issues. It's like it always comes down to quarterback. And, no matter how good the quarterback is, the truth is that you really, if you're going to build a championship team, it starts from the inside out. This is one thing that I think Ron Rivera and company were trying to do the correct way. I don't think they were able to do it all the way. I think they did it halfway. They rebuilt the defensive line because honestly, we had not had a very good defensive line for a number of years. And then suddenly we've got four number one defensive linemen all across the board. And excuse me. And suddenly we've got what we could consider one of the best defensive lines in the league, at least on paper. And you're thinking this is the bomb. This is exactly how you build a team from the trenches out. And then of course you start adding other pieces on the defensive side, a linebacker, some safeties, a corner, all that stuff. Problem is on the offensive side, we're adding the skilled players, but the trenches were we were continuing to lose very solid players. Now, of course, Trent Williams, not really Ron Rivera's fault. He was gone regardless. But you still had guys like Brandon Sheriff. You still had Morgan Moses. Of course, Chase, he was starting to get injured a lot. So that was a little unfortunate. You had guys like Brandon Flowers who actually came in and played really well for us, but we just couldn't keep them, or we didn't want them for some reason. But the truth was that at one point we had a pretty solid offensive line, and then we didn't do enough to keep them, and we didn't do enough to find top-notch guys to replace what we were losing. And ever since then, we've just been putting band aids on the situation, and not really good band aids like Brand X band aids. And so the offensive line has been a huge question mark. And so I feel like, in my opinion, you have to do what we consider the unsexy moves. No offense to offensive linemen. Um, no offense to any men. I don't find any man sexy. Um, but you have to work on the trench out, and that includes the offense as well. You got to build up that offensive line. When we had Kirk Cousins, RG3, um, I mean, honestly, we could score some points because they had protection up front. And, that's what we needed. You start with that protection. If Ron Rivera was able to build a great offensive line, I think, that goes a lot further in the development of your quarterback, which let's circle right back to quarterback. And that is the point of this whole video, is the fact that it doesn't matter really who you pick at quarterback. If they don't have the protection they need up front, then it's going to cause issues with their development. And really, you got to have the coaching, you got to have the protection for them. You can develop a lot of what we consider your average quarterbacks in the league if they're in the right system. And the right system, a lot of times, depends upon the protection and the coaching. We've seen some quarterbacks that you probably would consider never going to be Hall of Fame quarterbacks who wound up winning the Super Bowl because they were in the right system. So, and we've already seen Sam Howell do some great things this year. And what I see from some of the Boo Birds is that Sam Howell is good, but, well, right there tells you, if you're going to concede the fact that, well, Sam Howell's not bad, well, right there, you already know you got a good quarterback. Now we're not going to say he's great, but I think he has the potential, but he needs the help. It's not just from skilled positions, but it's from getting a great offensive line, some protection, and ultimately the coaching. And of course, the coaching will be another video, but I think giving up on Sam Howell is way too premature. I think you stick with Sam Howell because, for one thing, he already knows the system, and even if you bring in a new system next year, he knows the team, he knows the players around him. He just needs better protection up front. If he's able to have time, we've seen it in some games where he has had a little more time and protection up front, he can do some amazing things. And so that's what I want to see. I want to see Sam Howell in an offense where he's got protection up front and he's got time to throw the football. I think you're going to see some amazing things from Sam Howell. It's way too early to give up on him. Just simply go back and look at some of the greats in their first years. Look at their stats, look at their numbers, and just focus on that, and you will realize these guys didn't start off, playing up championship level, football. Now, you can look at guys like CJ Stroud and be like, well, look at him. And yeah, that happens every now and then. The first year that Patrick Mahomes started, great first year. That happens every now and then, but it doesn't, that's more of the exception than the rule. Most of the time, your first year quarterback, first full year, he's going to struggle a little bit. But from what I've seen with Sam Howell, he's done less struggling and more, to me, honestly, more better play than, somebody who's like, yeah, he's got a long ways to go. So I think we've got a quarterback, and I think that he's QB1, at least in 2024. Let's take that time to focus on getting a left tackle, um, some guards. There's better protection up front. Let's get some dominance up front, and I'm telling you, it's going to be a world of difference for the Washington Commanders. And of course, we're going to have new coaching next year, so that will make also a big difference. Folks, if you enjoy this video, please give it a like, give it a share. Let me know what you think in the comments. Do you agree with me? Do you disagree? Let's talk about it. Folks, thank you. We will talk to you in the next one.